It is mainly used to transmit digital data over circuit switched network. Most commonly used public switched telephone network is ISDN. Network termination type 1, or it is also called local loop terminator. Terminal equipment type 2, then that indicates that it is a non-ISDN device. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session. I am Revati, faculty, Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, First Grade College, Mysuru. We are on the third session of Integrated Service Digital Network. In my today's session, I am going to deal with international standards as well as Network Terminal 1, Network Terminal 2, Terminal Adapter and Terminal Equipment devices. Before going to start my today's session, let me to recall the things what I discussed in my last session. In my last session, I discussed what is integrated service digital network. Along with that, we discussed what is D channel as well as what is B channel. But in my today's session, I'm going to deal with international standards, that is NT1, NT2, TA devices as well as TE devices. Moving on to the ISDN. So here it is Integrated Service Digital Network. So in short form, it is Integrated Service Digital Network, which was created as communication standard for transmission of digital data. So here it is a communication standard and it is mainly designed for transmission of digital data. So here digital data may be a voice or fax along with the voice signals. So here the ISDN is a international standard for transmission of digital signals. So here the digital signal or data may be a video or fax or voice signal over the circuit switched public switch telephone network. I repeat, it is mainly used to transmit digital data over circuit switched network. In that, we are going to use public switched telephone network. So here in short, the ISDN is referred as 2B plus D. So here the 2B indicates it is 2 B channel and 1 D channel. That means here the ISDN is going to use 2 B channel as well as 1 D channel. Moving further, the ISDN is a integrated service digital network. It also a public networks are used for variety of services. That means the ISDN is mainly used to provide variety of services. In that, we are going to have public network. So here it is a public switched telephone network. That means nowadays most commonly used public switched telephone network is ISDN. It provides private lines. That means whatever the communication lines we are going to have, that is private and it is leased. And it is an example for packet switched data network. That means whatever the network which is provided by the ISDN is mainly based on packet switched data network. Moving further, let's see the functional devices of ISDN. So here the ISDN supports 4 different functional devices. So here each device type has certain functions and responsibilities. That means whatever the devices, the ISDN is going to have, in that each device is responsible for performing certain functions as well as responsibilities, but they may not represent an actual physical piece. That means these are not the device which have actual physical piece of devices. So these are the standard call functional devices. That means whatever the functional devices we are going to have, that is going to call standard calls, or that is going to make standard calls. So here in functional device, each device is responsible to perform certain functionalities as well as responsibility. So these four are the functional devices of ISDN. In that first one, NT1, that is network termination type 1. Then we are going to have NT2, that is network termination type 2. Then we are going to have terminal equipment, and at the end we are going to have terminal adapter. So here the ISDN is going to use 4 different functional devices. In that first one, NT1, we are going to have NT2, then we are going to have TE, and at the end we are going to have TA, that is terminal adapter. Moving further, we are going to have NT1. So NT1 is also called network termination type 1, or it is also called local loop terminator. So here NT1 is also called network termination type 1 or local loop terminator, and it represents the termination of physical connection between the customer site and LE. I repeat, it's mainly used to represent the termination of the physical connection between the customer site and LE. So here the LE is nothing but the network device. I repeat, here the LE is nothing but the network device that provides ISDN service. So its responsibility includes performance monitoring and timing, physical signaling, protocol conversion and power transformation. That means here the job of the NT1 is to provide performance monitoring as well as timing, physical signaling, protocol and the conversion and power transformation. So the main functionality of NT1 devices are performance monitoring, that means monitor the performance of all the devices, and timing, physical signaling, protocol conversion, and it's also responsible for power transfer. So here NT1 device is also called local loop terminal, and it represents the termination of physical connection between the customer site and LE. So here the LE is nothing but the network device which present in the ISDN service. Moving further, we are going to have NT2. So here it is also called network termination type 2, and these are the devices which is responsible for providing customer site switching, multiplexing and connection. I repeat, here the NT2 are the device that is mainly used to perform switching as well as multiplexing and connection establishment. So it includes multiplexer, host computer, terminal controllers and other voice and data switching devices. That means here the two devices are made up of using multiplexers as well as host computers and terminal controller and voice and data switching device. So here the NT2 devices are mainly used in ISDN PRI. So it is a device that is responsible for providing customer side or customer side switching as well as multiplexing, and it is also responsible for establishing connection. Moving further, we are going to have TE, that is Terminal Equipment Reference. So I repeat, it is terminal equipment and it is mainly used to provide end user device such as an analog or digital telephone or X.25, that is data terminal equipment, or ISDN workstation. So it is a device, it is mainly used to refer end user devices like analog to digital telephone or X.25 data terminal equipment or ISDN workstation. So here the terminal equipment type 1, that is TE1, are the devices that is mainly used for ISDN protocols and it supports ISDN devices. That means TE is further divided into terminal equipment type 1 and terminal equipment type 2. Suppose if we are using terminal equipment type 1, then it is responsible for ISDN protocols as well as it supports ISDN devices. So the example here is ISDN telephone or ISDN networks. That means these two are the example for terminal equipment type 1. Then we are going to have terminal equipment type 2. So it is non-ISDN devices such as analog telephone. That means wherever we are going to get terminal equipment type 2, then that indicates that it is a non-ISDN device and that includes analog telephones. Moving further, we are going to have terminal adapter. So a terminal adapter allows a non-ISDN device to communicate with the network. That means here the TA, that is terminal adapter, is a device that is mainly used to provide the connection between non-ISDN device to network. That means it is mainly used to provide the communication between non-ISDN devices as well as with the network. So here the terminal adapter allows a non-ISDN device to communicate with the other network. So here the TA allows analog phone or X.25 data terminal equipment or computer and other non-ISDN device to use the network by providing any necessary protocol conversion. That means the example for non-ISDN devices are analog phones, or it is X.25 data equipment terminal and other devices. So the terminal adapter that allows the non-ISDN device to communicate with the other network device. Moving further, we are going to have components of ISDN. That means how the ISDN are built. So here the components of ISDN includes terminals, then it is going to include terminal adapter, then it is going to include network termination devices, then it is going to have line termination equipment, and it is going to have exchange termination equipment. That means here the ISDN are made by using these following components, that is terminals, that is computer systems, as well as terminal adapters, and it is network termination devices, and it also includes line termination equipment, and it is also includes exchange termination equipment. Moving further, here the ISDN terminal comes in two types, that is TE1 and TE2, that is terminal equipment 1 and terminal equipment 2. So here the specialized ISDN terminals are referred as terminal equipment type 1. I repeat, a specialized ISDN terminals are called TE1, that is terminal equipment 1. So here the non-ISDN terminals like data terminal equipment and analog phones are the ISDN standards, and that is referred to as terminal equipment type 2. That means whatever the non-terminal devices you're going to have, that is considered as terminal equipment 2. So here the TE includes two type of terminals. In that first one, it is TE1 and TE2. So the TE1 is a specialized ISDN terminal, whereas the TE2 includes non-ISDN terminals. So here the TE1 is used to connect to the ISDN network through 4-wire twisted pair digital link. That means the TE1 connects to the ISDN network by using 4 lines of twisted pair digital link, whereas TE2 connects to the ISDN network through a terminal adapter. That means in TE1, the connections are established by using 4-wire. In that we are going to use twisted pair digital signal, whereas in TE2, the connections are established by using terminal adapter. So the ISDN TA can either be a standalone device or board inside the TE2. That means whatever the terminal adapter we are going to have, that may be a standalone device or it is inbuilt device. That means it is a board inside the terminal equipment type 2. So here, if the TE2 is implemented as standalone device, it connects to the TA via the standard physical layer interface. That means, suppose if the TE2 implemented as standalone device, then it is mainly used to connect terminal adapter via the standard physical connection. Whereas the example here is, it is EAI or TAI 232C, or it may be V.35. These are the some of the example for TE2. Moving further, the next connection point in the ISDN network is the network termination type 2. That means at the beginning we are going to have terminals. In terminals we are going to have terminal equipment. So the terminal equipment is further divided into two types, that is terminal equipment type 1 and terminal equipment type 2. So the terminal equipment type 1 is going to use standard ISDN service, whereas the terminal equipment 2 is going to use non-ISDN devices. So then we are going to have the next device, that is network terminator. So in that we are going to have two types, that is NT1 and NT2. 2. So here the next connection point in ISDN network is network termination type 1 and network termination type 2. These are the network termination device that connects to the 4-wire subscriber wiring to the conventional 2-wire local loop. That means, so whatever the network terminal devices we are going to have, that is going to made up of 4 wires. That means the connections are established by using 4-wire subscriber. In that, the wiring to the conventional 2-wire local loop. These are the network termination devices and that connects the 4-wire subscriber wiring to the conventional 2-pair local, that is 2-wire local loop. The most of the parts of the world, the NT1 device is the part of the network provided by the carrier signal. That means the most of the world which is covered by ISDN, that is the part of network and it is going to provide carrier signal. So the next device we are going to have NT2. So it is a more complicated device and it is mainly used in digital private branch exchange and it also performs layer 2 and layer 3 protocol function. I repeat, the NT2 device is more complicated device and it is mainly used in digital private branch exchange and it is going to perform the activities like layer 2 and layer 3 protocol functions. Moving further, let's see the advantages of ISDN lines. So what is the first advantage? The primary advantages of ISDN line is that it is a digital line. So here you can capable to transfer the voice data. So it is a digital line, hence the voice quality is better than analog circuit. That means whatever the data you're going to transfer, it provides better quality. The next advantages of ISDN line is the ISDN line can carry voice call data, that is internet, video, that is video conferencing and fax information in the same line. That means the ISDN provides a facility that the user can capable to carry all kind of data. It may be a voice call or it may be a data or it may be a video or fax. So all these type of data are carried by using same line. Then we are going to have each ISDN line can provide a bandwidth of 128 kilobits per second both in upper stream direction as well as downstream direction. That means the data transfer rate provided by the ISDN here is 128 kilobits per second for upper stream direction as well as downstream direction. The ISDN is a circuit switched network, therefore is little or no data loss while transferring data. That means in ISDN we are going to use circuit switching technique. So here there is no loss of data during transmission of data. Then the troubleshooting a digital network is easier than troubleshooting analog network. That means in ISDN troubleshooting is very easy compared to analog circuit. With ISDN, the call setup and the call tear down is faster than analog circuit. That means whatever the connection we are going to establish by using ISDN is very fast comparing to analog circuit. That means here the call setup means the call establishment, whereas the tear down, that means the call disconnection services are very fast in ISDN. The latency is very less in digital circuit, hence it is suitable for transmitting latency sensitive applications like video and voice. The important advantages of ISDN here is it provides very less latency because here we are going to use digital circuit. So here the ISDN is mainly used to transfer digital data. So here the digital data includes audio or video or voice data. In my next session, I'm going to deal with bridging. That is, what is bridge, what's the advantages of bridge and the disadvantages of bridge and the functionalities of bridge. Dear students, in my today's session, I discussed what is ISDN. Along with that, I discussed what is TA, what is TE and what is NT1 and NT2. Thank you for watching my session. Let's meet in the next session. Until then, take care. Thank you.